Hi, Brian Stecker here again, certified personal trainer and baby boomer fitness expert, where today we're going to talk about the best leg exercises and ways to transform your legs for women over 50. All right, so when I've got Rosie here, she's one of my long-term clients, one of my favorite clients. She went from, from what, Saul to Paul? Was
something like that.
Something like that. Not that extreme, but she had her transformation, and it was a huge one. And we'll get the pictures out there for you. If not, you can see them on boomerfitness.com. But she's transformed herself, so she's kind enough to be here today. She's over 50 years young, and 58.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ask,
That's
but
okay.
we're not supposed to ask. So so
very cool.
Let's talk about transforming our legs. So if we're going to do that, we've got to do some resistance. Of course, we talked about diet. Of course, we talked about getting your cardio in. But today we're focused on toning up those muscle groups and building that muscle back. Because once we get over the age of 30, we begin to lose about 5% of lean body mass every year. So you want to use progressive overload. And progressive overload is simple as using a little more weight than you did last time, or doing a new exercise that's a little bit more challenging, or doing an extra rep. So the easiest way to do progressive overload is grab a notebook, grab your iPhone, and from week to week say, oh, I did this exercise. Was it too easy? Did I do good form? Okay, great. Did I do one more rep? Okay. Did I do a little bit more weight? That's a good way to do it. When you're training legs in your rep ranges from anywhere from if you're looking for hypertrophy muscle building 8 to 12, you're going to be on a scale of 1 to 10, about an 8, about a 7 to an 8, where it feels like that intensity. A lot of people's perceptions of challenging themselves, like, I got to go all out 10, fighting out every rep. That's not the case. We're trying to pick a weight that is a 6-7 intensity on a scale of 1 to 10, and that we can complete our, say, 8 to 12 reps. We can only do 8 or only 12 reps with good form. So that was the way we want to focus on. The other thing is tempo, tempo, tempo. We're not trying to rush through this. We're trying to have nice controlled movement. So we load the muscle, we're not just lifting the weight, because it's loading the muscle, the tension of the muscle, that's going to do this. And then the other thing with transforming the legs, we're not looking to be power lifters. We're looking to tone up the muscle group. So rest cycles, we're looking at 30 to 90 seconds of rest. And then with cardio, we want to make sure we're incorporating the HIIT cardio, because the HIIT cardio, especially for women, is going to stimulate those type 2AB, type 2B muscle fibers with explosive ones, not those endurance fibers. So those are going to build up the muscle. So that's it. So now we're going to talk about the exercises that you want to focus on. With any exercise plan, you always want to meet with a doctor first to have him clear you before beginning an exercise plan to find out where you should start. Another suggestion I would say, and this isn't to promote myself, sometimes starting an exercise plan, it's always good to get some professional advice. Get a trainer. A trainer is going to guide you along the process, help you build that confidence that you can do it, and make sure you're doing it the right way, because it is a big project. So if anybody wants to do that, there's links below to find us, but let's just teach you. So the first one we have is the good old kettlebell deadlift. It's a great exercise for toning up those hamstrings and those glutes. So Rosie, what we're going to do is we're going to go feet wider than shoulder apart. Chest is nice top. Notice Rosie's back's nice and flat. She's going to lift up on a count of 1, nice and controlled, and then lowering on a count of 3. And notice she's dropping her hips to the floor. Good. And then pulling her hips through. That's working her glutes and her hamstrings. And that's the first exercise. We'll set that one down. That's our deadlift. So that's a kettlebell deadlift. It's a good progressive exercise to start with. Another one is the trap bar deadlift that we use a lot in our small group training, one-on-one training. And the nice thing about the trap bar deadlift versus the other deadlift, the barbell deadlift, is that it goes through the center of your back, so you're not putting a lot of strain on your low back. So the hex bar deadlift. So Rosie's just going to step in here. Notice her back's nice and flat, her arms are straight, nice tension in the bar. And we're using a weight that she can control in her good form. She's not overly straining to lift the weight. On a deadlift, it's best to leave 1 or 2 reps extra not trying to force those out to keep pressure off that back. Deep breath in and exhale. Good. And done. So these are some big compound lifts that I would focus on the beginning of your movements in leg workouts. So now I want to show you 3 leg exercises that are great over the age of 50. So one of them is the Bodyweight Squat. So we're just going to go feet shoulder width apart, Rosie, right here. Feet shoulder apart. We'll put our hands out in front of us or on our hips or on your head, wherever you want to put them. You're just going to squat down under control and back up. Deep breath in and exhale. And then notice Rosie's back staying flat. She's controlling on the way down. She's not bouncing at the bottom, putting stress on her knee. And Rosie's been with us for a while, so she's got great range of motion. So Rosie, only go about halfway down for a second. Let's say that's your range of motion. Just go through that and then back up. And just work through that range of motion. So say if Rosie doesn't have the range of motion, that's what you would do at home. So bodyweight squats are a great exercise to build those legs up. Good. Another one is a TRX squat. This is going to give you a little bit more support. We're just going to, why don't you come over here, Rosie? We'll have you demonstrate. I don't want to take away a good leg workout from you. So Rosie has her feet shoulder width apart. She's squatting down under control. And then she can use her hands to help her pull herself up. Deep breath in and exhale. These are great exercises as you age to keep that hip mobility. Notice Rosie's hips are moving well. And this is a great exercise for longevity because getting up and down is what you need to do to be mobile in life. The more mobile you are, they've shown it expands your life expectancy and attributes to doing the things that you love to do. There you go, Rosie. And then the mother of all mother, it's the goblet squat. So we're just going to have Rosie hold the weight in front of her, feet shoulder width apart. We'll step out this way a little bit. There you go, toes turned out. Holding the weight in front, so she's getting some work in her anterior core. And then squatting down, and then exhale. Awesome. And again, Rosie's working through her range of motion. You should work through your range of motion also. That's good for you. There you go. So like say, yeah, that's your range of motion. Work through that range of motion. Focus on your flexibility program, your foam rolling, deep tissue massage. All that will help with creating that range of motion. And good. So I would choose from any of those deadlifts that work best for you, and then any of these squats that work well for you. Now, those are some big compound movements that you want to start with because they take the most energy and the most demand. Now we're going to go to some other ones. So the first one we're going to do is a split squat. So we're going to start feet together. And let's face this way. Okay, you're just going to step out 2 to 3 feet away from the midline of your body. Stepping out. There you go. A little more. There you go. You're going to squat down and then pressing through the middle of the foot and back up. Deep breath in and exhale. And Rosie's got great range of motion. It's strengthening that inner thigh muscle, that vastus medialis. Especially for women, it's good building that up. And let's switch legs. It's good for building that up because of the Q angles of the hips. It protects against ACL tears. So it's a great exercise for that inner quad muscle and then also for lifting those glutes. And good. Rosie's got great balance there. If for some reason you didn't have that balance, you can just use something for support. You could use a chair, or you could use a handle to support yourself also. Now, we're going to go for a little bit more advanced exercise, which is going to be our lunges. So, what we're going to do is feet together. Then you're going to just step out, dropping yourself down, and then stepping back. Good. Rosie's doing an awesome job of pressing off the ball of the foot and stepping back explosively. She has great form, great tempo. Let's switch over to the other leg. And the other thing too is we want to work through your range of motion. Rosie's been with us for a long time. She's been working on her mobility program, challenging herself to get to this range of motion. For some example, say step out, drop down just a little bit. Say that's all your range of motion. Be proud of that and then step back. And just work through that range of motion until you build it back up. There's plenty of women that we've worked with for the last 13 years that have been able to do that with one-on-one training. Good. Great job on those.
Yeah, I used to be that way. I used to have the less mobility, but now, through the times I've worked out more and more, I got stronger so I can have that range of motion.
What's great about this also with setting a goal to build up lunges is if you notice, it takes a lot of balance to work on that. And again, the number one thing that people start to experience over that age of 50 is they start to lose that balance. So be able to strengthen those glutes and those quads and doing things like lunges and building up to lunges. I'm not saying you can do it right away, but building up to that and setting that goal is setting you up for a win later in life to be able to do things you love to do into your 60s, 70s, and 80s, keeping that balance and preventing things like falls. You know, the stat out there says, this is scary. 1 out of 3 women who fall and break their hip will pass away. And I lost my grandmother from a fall, so
it's really something else.
Yeah, it's so important to start early in those 50s to build up that balance, and doing those split squats and those lunges will help with that. And if you want to do that, find yourself a good trainer that can help with that. Next one we're going to do is a step up. I'm going to grab this step over here. And there's different levels of steps. So if you're a beginner, and this is another great exercise for the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings. So if you're a beginner starting out, you can use a step. And you can also use something to support yourself to do that step. Rosie's doing a good job of not trying to bounce off that back foot to lift herself up, working that inner quad muscle, the hamstrings, and the glutes. Let's switch over to the other leg. Let's bring your whole foot on the step. There you go. You want to have your full foot on the step to help with that balance. Good form, Rosie.
Thank you.
And then good. So ways to challenge yourself with step up is always make sure you can do good form with body weight first. Body weight is near and dear to me because if you can't use your body, why would you ever use a machine or extra weight?
It's important to be able to carry your body.
Yeah, and whenever you're doing leg exercises, 70% of your body weight you're lifting when you're doing it. So you have plenty of resistance. If you need a better challenge, you could do a step like a higher step. So there you go. This is going to activate more of the glutes by using a higher step and actually keep more tension on those quads on the way down. So it's another way to challenge yourself in loading is step ups. It's one of my favorite exercises to put in toward the end of a workout. Maybe not so much for my clients. They're like, oh my gosh, I knew you were going to put those step ups in there. That's a direct quote from one of my clients. I won't say her name to protect the not so innocent. And Rosie's bringing that knee up and is challenging her balance even more. Again, you want to pick the exercise that's right for you. Awesome. Good job, Rosie. Next one we're going to do is our stability ball leg curl. Great exercise for core, great exercise for the glutes, and more importantly, great for the hamstrings. These are all exercises Rosie has used to build her booty and her legs back up. All right, so we're going to lie flat on the mat. Put our head here. Yep. Yep. Okay. Awesome. And then we'll put our feet on top of the ball. There you go, feet together. Straighten our legs out. There we go. Hands at our side. You're going to bring your hips up and then pull in. There you go. Squeeze those hamstrings back. Hips down, hips back up, and good. Good. So she's getting a good extension of those hips, working the glutes, pulling in, working the hamstrings, and good. Great exercise for challenging the core also.
It's true.
Good.
I can feel that one.
There you go. Awesome. And done. And then the last exercise, good exercise for building the hips is you can lie back on the mat there again, Rosie. All right. Put our hands on our thighs. You're going to lie back and then bring your heels back just a bit. And you're going to do your glute bridges. There you go. Great exercise for the glutes. Great finisher or a great exercise if you're strapped for time is you could do 4 sets of 20 reps or 3 sets of 50 reps. Good exercise for challenging those glutes. Say you're in a hurry or in a rush and you don't have a lot of time.
And I do that squeeze at the end there.
Make sure you get that. Make sure you get that squeeze. You heard it from Rosie. That's what helped her build it back up. And if you want to take it up a level, we'll use the bench here. So let's roll our mat around. Roll our mat around here. All right, Rosie, let's lie flat on our back here. Put our heels at the end of the bench. Hands on our thighs. Let's scoot our hips forward just a bit. There we go. Keep our heels forward. There we go, so we can load the glutes, hands on our thighs. We want to press our hands into our thighs so it activates our quad muscles, so we isolate the glutes. Another thing that Rosie's doing well here is none of this pressure is going through her neck. All of it's going through her upper back. She's putting this, displacing it through the middle of her back. So this is good. Make sure you watch for that. And done. How are those legs feeling, Rosie?
Feeling good.
All right.
Especially the glutes.
Especially the glutes.
Yeah.
So these are some great leg exercises you can start putting into your plan. To break it down for you, I'll put some descriptions in the box of how you can structure these things. And Rosie and I will do a couple more videos of workouts you can do if you're a beginner or you're more advanced that you can start incorporating in to start helping you over the age of 50 build those lean, toned thighs, lose the fat, and then build up the booty again. So thanks a lot, Rosie. Awesome work.
You too.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I would love to hear what you liked best about this video. So down below, you'll see a comment section. Just leave your comments, and I want to thank you so much for the comments you've been leaving me over the months, and I've been getting back to filling those out. Also down below in the description box, you'll see a link, and in that description box with that link, you want to click it, and it's going to take you to another page where you're going to get 4 free workouts. To get those 4 free workouts, you just have to enter your email address. So go down below, click the link, and we're going to get you those workouts right away by entering your email address. Also, down below, make sure you click the subscribe button so you get updated when we release all this great content. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you so much for your comments. Go get your free workouts, and you guys make it a great day.